Right. Once again, I record all the meetings and upload on my YouTube channels. So if you miss anything, okay, if you miss anything, please find my YouTube channel and you can watch it. You can watch it. I know some of you have some traveling, schedules, okay, for the official reasons. Okay, please use technology. Okay. All right. So in the last time, we talked about my four papers. Then you have a good sense about real options, corporate venture capital, and something else. Okay. Then I arrange it to read academic papers because I want to open up your mind to think about business, the nature of business. Okay. So we did, and then in the last time it was asynchronous. So you had the team meetings and you studied the simulations. Okay. Now you have a good sense about, oh, this is the simulations. So again, once again, at this point, okay, the main purpose of two practice round is to be familiar with the game. Okay. So please read the manuals very, very carefully. Okay? So you should know how to play the game. And also, at this point, it is important to see where your information is available. Okay? In the simulations, there are a lot of market information and also a lot of competitive information. So you need to find it. You need to find it and you should use it, okay, to calculate your market to make following decisions. Okay, so now we've done practice round one. And this time we are ready to talk about first two chapters. Very, very simple topics. Strategic management, definitions, and some related concepts. That's it. Okay. So today meeting will be very, very simple. It won't be long. Okay. So at this point, I want to make sure everyone is ready to go. Your audio, video, everything is okay. I want to go. Please say yes.
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 Okay. All right. You can type yes too. All right, great, great. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's go. Let's go. All right, some announcement. Teams. Again, if you don't have any team right now, it's a big problem. You're in the problem. Please let me know immediately. Capsule simulation, we did the first round. We talked about that. And schedule, this is just confirm our future schedule. This schedule is exactly the same as the schedule on the syllabus. So next time we're going to talk about chapter 3 and 4, external internal analysis. So this time, okay, today we're going to talk about the definition of strategy method and some related concepts. That's it. Okay. The next time we're going to talk about external internal environment. External environment you cannot control. Internal environment you can control. The simple theories, we'll talk about that. Then, again, we're gonna do capsule simulation practice round 2. Okay. So for volume 3, I'm gonna open video conference in the asynchronous class too. So if you have any question or any concern, you wanna see me, just use that time. Okay. All right, so the first one is at this point, you're supposed to read chapter 1 and 2. Okay, I assume that. Okay, then also you submit chapter cases. Okay, so think about that. You already read the chapter the first time to observe your materials, and you had a chance to think about your cases. Then this was the second time. Actually, you learned by yourself the second time about chapter 1 and 2 already. Then we're going to start with a one case. So please go ahead on Canvas, and under the case, okay, Chapter 1 and 2 Woman Keys are available right now. Chapter 1 and 2 Woman Keys is now available right now. Okay? I'm gonna give you 10 minutes. You can take it. Okay? You can take it. I'm gonna give you 10 minutes. So when you're done, please type done. Type done. Okay? You can save our time. You're pretty fast. All right, many people done. Right. Anyone needs more time, please let me know. I just want to say about time. So if you need more time, please let me know. All right, great, great. The main purpose of one quiz is very simple, just reading discussions. Okay? So we are going to talk about some topics in chapter 1 and 2 in one quiz. Then we have a better chance to observe the materials, understand the concepts. So let me ask you, anybody needs more time? Okay, so let's talk about one quiz. Okay? So this is a third chance, okay, to think about your materials, the concepts. Number one, competitive advantage, keyword, keyword, in the strategy management. Competitive advantage, again. Competitive advantage is an absolute measure of superior fund performance. True or false? It's not true. It's not true. False. Yes. It's a what? Absolute measure? No. No. Okay. So we don't have any absolute measure in strategy management. Competitive advantage is what? Doing better than others. Always competitive. Okay. Compare. Okay? So in the strategy management, there is no absolute measure. It's a problem actually. So think about that. Your performance, about something like financial accounting performance, your revenue. Okay. Revenue, 2 billions. Is it great or not? We don't know. Okay? It can be great. It can be not. Compare with others. Okay? Compare with others. So in a simulation too, your performance, your revenues, your profits, is it great or not? We don't know. Okay? So no absolute measure. Okay? So competitive advantage is always doing better than others in the industry. Okay? Number two, the essential core of strategy, okay, is doing the same thing as your rivals but being more effective at it? No, it's false. Okay, all right, it's false. Doing same thing, what is it? You learn this in the business school, operation management, operations management class. Okay, so operations management class actually provides a lot of new ideas to improve your efficiency. Okay, doing same thing like a just in time, okay? And resource management and some other techniques. But strategy management is different. Operation management is a tactical, doing same thing more efficient. Strategy management doing other things, doing different things, and long term. Long term. It's a product differentiation. We say this is a product differentiation. Okay. Right. Number three. If you want anything you want to discuss anytime, just jump in it. Jump in it. Okay. Number three. The term strategy is a mean to describe the firm's overall quest for competitive advantage. Exactly. Exactly. This is the definition of a strategy. Long-term plan to achieve competitive advantage. Okay. So probably some of you already recognize I always talking about competitive advantage, competitive advantage, competitive advantage. Okay? Because we are talking about anything, everything, okay, involved with the performance. Performance driven. So why we care about long-term plan? Because I want to have better performance. Okay, competitive advantage. Number 4, industrial effects. So business effect, industrial effects. Okay. In the textbook, probably they distinguish this. Industrial effects clearly are more significant than firm level effects on performance. How do you think about it? Emma says it's false. Is it really false? Okay, all right. So industry effects and firm level effects. Okay, sometimes I'm confused actually. As an investor, as a consultant, I try to have a better sense about these levels. These levels. Okay. In my perspective, in my perspective, I usually think about 3 levels. Okay? 3 levels. You may agree or you may disagree, but macro, industry, and firm level. Right? Macro, industry, firm levels. Okay? Usually, I give some weights, 235, 235, macro 2, industry 3, firm level 5. Okay, 235. But it depends. So the macro means like something like economic, indicators, like your interest rates and the unemployment rate, something like that. Economic situations, political economic situations, and industry effects, your industry specific factors, and business level, firm level effect, your own company specific factors. So usually I have the weights 2, 3, 5. But these days I'm totally confused. Okay? And I change it. Probably 4 to 4, something like that. So macro effects are so huge these days. Okay? Because it is fluctuating. Think about that. The interest rates, it is skyrocketing. And real estate market is a fluctuate, and also industry things. Okay, banking systems. We are experiencing total change these days in the USA. Okay, so macro things are so volatile these days. Then I got more weight on the macro effect, something like that. So it is not fixed. Okay, there is no rule of thumb. It is yours. You need to think about, okay, these days macro effects are really great. If macros are stable, you don't need to think about a lot. Okay, industry stable, you don't need to think about a lot. Your firm are most important thing. But if your external environments you cannot control, if your external environments are changing very quickly, then you need to think about it. Okay? Right? So my point is very simple. The textbooks, yes, that's true. Industry effects, there are industry effects, but firm level effects are great. Okay? But it depends. Okay? You need to think about the situation by situations. Okay? So these days, probably we have many reasons to think about in different ways. Okay? That's what I'm saying. All right. Number 5. Any question, comment? Okay, number 5. Business strategy concerns the choice of strategy in terms of where to compete. No, it's a little bit tricky. Okay, we are gonna in the following chapters we are talk about 3 chapters. 3 chapters. No, 3 levels of strategy: functional level, business level, and corporation level. Functional level, is a departmental level decisions, okay, to pursue efficiency. Business level, one single business unit, how to compete, firm level effect, okay, and corporation level, where to compete, multiple business unit, how to harmonize multiple business units. Okay, so we want to talk about three levels of strategy in the following chapters. Okay, corporation level, business level, functional level. Okay. All right, so number 6, corporate strategy. Yes, grammar, corporate strategy, where to compete. Exactly. Thank you so much. Number 6, the strategy management process. Okay, the process. The strategic management is a process, not static decisions. Process means multiple steps. Multiple steps. So in the strategic management, we use 3 steps usually. Okay? Conceptually. Okay? Plan, do, implement. Okay? AFI brain. Analysis. Okay, I'm sorry. Analysis. Okay? And strategy formation and strategy implementation. Okay? Analysis means the analysis of your external internal environments. And formation of a strategy, 3 levels of strategy. And implementation, how to implement your strategy into the practice. Okay, so we are talk about with the textbook sessions. With the textbook, we are talk about the external internal environment analysis part, and also strategy formulation part. 3 levels of strategy and some other concepts. But implementation, think about that. It is very hard. It is very hard to generalize implementation part. How to implement your strategy in a corporation? It is not easy to talk with a textbook. That's why we use the simulations. We just practice. Okay. So implementation. This is not knowledge. Okay. It's not transport. We wanna practice. Okay. Not learn. We want to practice. Okay? This is the simulations. Why we use the simulations. So implementation part, we want to use the simulation. Okay. Analysis, formulation, textbooks, and implementation simulations. Okay. And the strategy management process describes the method by which managers conceive of and implement a strategy that can lead a sustainable competitive advantage. Yes, very beautiful words. Okay. Number 7, a mission. A mission describes what an organization actually does. Yes, what a business is and why it does it. Yes, exactly. And vision and mission. Vision and mission. Vision is a little different from mission. Many people confused about it. Okay, we are to talk about vision and mission. Vision, where we will be. Mission, what we are doing. Okay, vision, mission. Many people say these are necessary to have it. Okay, to have a better map for everyone, for the organizations. So we are to talk about that. And number 8, a company's mission should be customer-oriented because this helps the firm retain flexibility in changing environment. Yes, I agree with that. Okay, this is true. Right, we want to talk about vision and mission in details. All right, great. Any question, comments about one keys? So if you want to discuss anything, please jump in. Okay. So again, the main purpose of the one quiz is to lead the discussions. Okay? No question, no comment. So can I move? Okay, let's go. Okay, so learning objective, the first chapter, very first chapter, we talked about competitive advantage already, doing better than others. Strategy, long-term plan to achieve competitive advantage. We talked about fun effects and industry effects. Done. Corporate business functional level, three levels of strategy. We talked about this. And some topics, some trends in the strategy management. That's it. These are about everything about chapter one. Very simple topic. Very simple topics. Okay? We will talk about this. So we are here. We want to talk about chapter one and two. Okay, one and two. The definition of strategy management and strategy management process. Strategy management process, we already talked about that, right? Analysis, okay, formulation of strategy, then implementation of strategy. So we already done talk about very important topics in this chapter one and two. So we're gonna do some fun activities. Okay. So your class activity. So we done one keys like this. So one keys was the third time to observe your materials. This time, we gonna have a little fun, class activities. And this is first time. Then I'm gonna summarize. The chapter one and two, and then this will be the last time to observe the materials. So today class activity. Today class activity. Your chapter case. Your chapter case. Twitter case. Very interesting. Very interesting case. Many people are interested in it. Okay. It's still going on. Okay. So with your team, you are gonna discuss these three questions. Okay. Share your perspectives. You already done these questions, so it is just sharing your perspectives. Why is Twitter struggling? Why is this strategy so important? Apply three-step process. So please discuss these three questions and we want to discuss as a whole group briefly. Okay, this will be today class activity. Okay, I'm gonna create your breakout rooms in the 6 rooms, right? How many? 10 minutes? Okay, please go ahead, join me the team. Okay? Join me the team, and then talk about these three questions briefly. Briefly. Then we want to discuss these questions as a whole group. Please join video group. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. So, how was your team discussions? It's okay. All right, great, great. So, all right, so let's talk about Twitter's case. It was great at the beginning of their history. The performance was great. Then the sky rocketed, and then they just moved. So, what happens? Okay, please be ready to tell us what your team discusses. So let's talk about the probably the first question. Why is the Twitter struggling? What role do industry and firm effects play here? Please, any team, anyone, please. What did you discuss? Please tell us.
Well, and for Team Four, the main reason Twitter was struggling was it failed to capture a large enough user base that would attract advertising revenue.
All right, user base, user base. Okay, it was a problem. It was a problem. Why they lose it? Why they lose it? Okay? Because in this case, probably the implication is very simple. They didn't have a long-term strategy. Okay? They didn't have a long-term strategy. Any comment? Okay, so user base was a problematic. And okay, go ahead.
For Team One, we didn't talk about the size of the user base, but rather how Twitter defined its users and how they couldn't get a good grasp of who their core users were.
Okay, good point. Good point. We lower good points. Team one. So the definition of market was a problematic. They started with a narrow range of technology. Then this technology was just easy to imitate. Then they just lost their customers. Actually, they could they could redefine the customers with a new range of technologies. That's Glamor's point. And the team one. It's great. Very insight. Very insight. Okay. Any other points?
For Team Five, we talked about it seemed like they lacked a general direction from like the top management and how that trickled down into the lower levels of management and had confusion. And it seemed like the company wasn't working together for a single purpose. And it caused a lot of confusion within and had people um, quitting or being fired within the company.
All right. Thank you so much, Wesley. This is exactly what we are talking about vision and mission. Okay. The communications, internal communications in the organizations. Okay. If there is no vision and mission shared within the organizations, it is very hard. It is very hard to have the common direction of the organizations. Okay. Wesley pointed out this. It's great. Okay. Okay. Musk taking over. Yeah. And well, now we're on the Twitter. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Whitney. Thank you, Whitney. Any other points? Okay. So any other point?
Team Six talked about how, kind of with them lacking a strategy, they failed to define their positioning within the industry. So that didn't help them to recapture any users from Facebook or Google because they did not do a great job since they didn't know what direction their company was headed in. They failed to differentiate themselves and find more of a niche position to move forward and reclaim some of that market share.
Okay, good points, Emma. Thank you so much. So industry and firm specific factors. Industry factors. Actually, it was good to expand the market. Okay. So firm. But think about that. Firm specific factors. More competitive in the industry than firm specific factors. Okay. Firm revenue, firm performance will decrease. It was exactly what happened to it. So in the industry, it is expanded. That means industry factor was great, but firm-specific factors. Actually, Twitter didn't catch up the industry ethics. It was a problem. Great. There are many reasons we can talk about. Any other points? So now, let me ask, why is a good strategy so important? Especially high-tech startups like a Twitter. Why is crafting a good strategy at Twitter so difficult? Please, tell us. The second question.
For team 2, we kind of said we said that a good strategy is important because it gives the company like a mission to shoot for and kind of a roadmap to follow. And it also confirms some of the values and the purposes of the organization.
Okay, values. Thank you, Ryan. Okay, values. Strategy should create values. Okay, and then think about that. Twitter, they created some values for customers at the beginning of their history, and then some other competitors actually created more values, and Twitter didn't. That's Twitter creates. Okay, so value is very what is that slippery concept. Okay? So we are going to talk about values in the following chapters. Okay, Okay, it's a good point. Business should create value. Strategy too. Okay, but value is a very slippery construct. That's why strategy is not easy to set up. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Any other point? Why strategy is important?
So for Team 3, we talked about how, particularly in high-tech startups, things are moving so quickly that having definition around it is very helpful for mid-level leaders, but also the frontline workers, really understanding the purpose and focus. But that's also why it's hard to develop good strategy, because things are constantly moving and changing in that environment for a company like Twitter, especially early on.
Great. Amy, thank you so much. It's the greatest. Okay. Changing your environments, your external and also your internal environments are changing. Your external environments, you cannot control everything. You cannot control is your external environment. Internal environment, you can change. You can impact. But both external, internal environments are changing. Then, as a manager, as a business leader, your job is very simple. Okay? Consistent, your environment and your organizations. Okay? Then you have a better performance. Okay? But these environments are moving targets. They're always changing. Okay? So, as a business leader, that's why we need to know the environments. We need to analyze the environments. We need to be consistent with the environments. Okay? That's why the strategy planning is not easy. Okay? It should be consistent with environments. But environments are moving targets. Great. Especially in high tech. Think about that. High tech. Moore's law. Probably you know this. Okay? And this is a hardware thing. But in the software, Twitter's case, probably their product development cycle should be less than 6 months. So in the less than 6 months, the products are changing so fast. Okay, so it is very hard to have a good strategy, because a strategy should long term. It should be estimate long term, but product is changing very quickly. Okay, Kathleen.
I am so sorry. That was a mistake.
Okay, then lower hands. Okay, and great. Okay, any other point? Okay, Ashley, thank you. good strategy provides clear and attainable direction and goals. Yes. Okay. In other words, we say this is a better performance, competitive advantage. So actually, okay, thank you so much. Okay. Basically, our framework is really, really simple. We are going to talk about this thing again and again and again. Okay? It's not a knowledge, it's just perspective, how to see your business. Okay? Again, this framework, if you reduce cost, increase product differentiations, you have more values gap between this, then you have sustainable competitive advantage. That's it. That's it. This is the central idea of this course. We will talk about this again and again, actually again, the same things. Any other point?
I didn't hear the first comment, so I hope I'm not repeating anyone. But what Team 5 talked about was that a high-tech startup like Twitter, it's really important to have a good strategy because you don't have the luxury of being able to mess up and lose $500,000 and then make it back the next year. You have limited funds that you have to use really wisely from the beginning. And for the second part of the question, the good strategy for Twitter is so difficult because there are other giants in that industry that own most of the market share, as in Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. The first 4 or 5 that you name are the ones that I think probably own most of the market share. So you have to carve your way in there by pushing one of those people out. And I doubt that they're very easy to move out of the way.
Okay, great. Wesley, thank you so much. We do not have a luxury to mess up. Okay? So that's why probably at this point, you need to remind what real option perspective, real options. Why do we care about real options? Because I want to reduce my mistake. Okay? I want to reduce the possibility of any mess up. Okay? So that's why I just, bring real options in the upfront in the class. Okay? So environment is changing very quickly and your competitors are changing very quickly. Okay? Think about your simulations. Okay? Simulations. Your competitors already move in the market. You gotta mess up. It's a big problem. You cannot catch up. Okay? In many cases. Okay? Wesley, thank you so much. Any other point? Okay, then let's move to the next question. Apply 3-step process for developing a good strategy. Okay, Twitter's case. Situation today, we have a lot of perspective about this. Okay, so instead of discussing these questions, I just wanna to emphasize 3 steps. Okay, 3-step process. Again, analysis, formulation, implementation, AFI. Okay, analysis, formulation, implementation, AFI process. Okay, these steps you can apply AFI framework to have a strategy. Okay, that's just the point I want to emphasize at this point. Okay, all right, great discussions. We analyzed Twitters. Okay, you did a great job. I love it. Okay. Right. Any other questions, comments about the case, your class activity? I love it actually. I'm very glad. Okay. All right. Great. Good discussions. Okay. Then let's move. No question, no comments. Okay. So we talked about Twitter. Okay. So we've done class activities. First time to observe the activities. Then I'm gonna just summarize. I'm gonna talk about some points of the textbook. This is the last time to chance, okay? For a chance to observe the materials. I'm not gonna replicate I'm not going to replicate the textbook. You already read the textbook, so you don't need to. So, but I wanna just emphasize some points. That's it. Okay. All right. We talked about competitive advantage, doing better than others. Strategy, long-term plan to achieve competitive advantage. Okay. Then the simple framework, generic framework, product differentiation, cost leadership. If you reduce cost, you increase product differentiations, you have competitive advantage. Okay. Industry firm effects, we talked about that. Okay. Firm effects is the greatest, okay, but it depends. All right. It depends on the situation. All right. So it's not generic. Okay. So you need to think about this. We already talked about this. Strategy, we talked about this. I'm not going to replicate. What is the strategy? What strategy is not? Operation things, efficiency things. Okay? Easy to imitate. It's not strategy. Okay? It's not strategy. Something like this. ERP, benchmarking, Six Sigma. Operation management is operation management. Three levels of strategy. Corporate level, where to compete. Business level, how to compete. Functional level, how to implement. It's all about efficiency. Okay. And strategy across levels, and we already talked about that. Business models, putting strategy into action. This is the definitions. And comparing business models, we want to skip this. Okay. Contemporary strategy. This is about technology. So there are very important topics, two important topics at least. Okay. The first thing is technology. Okay. Technological change. We are going to talk about technology in depth, okay, in the following chapters. Technology. Why? Why technology is important? Anyone? Why technology is important?
Dr. King, are you asking why it's important?
Yes. Why technology is important? Why many people are crazy about technology?
Well, it's meant to make our lives more efficient, save time and money.
Okay, more efficient. Okay. Anybody else?
It's become much more affordable to obtain and implement in daily life.
It means reduce cost.
Yes.
Yes.
It makes things more convenient in general.
Convenient. It is easy to produce something. Product differentiations. Okay.
I mean, it's turned into the Library of Alexandria. You can find anything that you would ever want, information.
Okay. All right. Something new. Something new. Okay. So, what's your answers? I just, combine your answers in the framework of strategy management. I already talked about this. Reduce cost, increase product differentiations. Then you have a competitive advantage. Why technology is important? Because it reduces cost. It increases product differentiations. The most interesting thing is that usually think about that, your cost and product differentiations. If you reduce cost, so you spend less money, what happened to your product? Probably a lower quality. Make sense? If you increase product differentiations, better product, you develop it, then what happened? You spend more money, more cost. Okay, your cost and product differentiations actually co-moves usually. But technology make it possible lower cost, reduce cost, and increase product differentiation simultaneously. Then you have more values. Then you have what? Competitive advantage. That's why people are crazy about technology. So reduce cost, increase product differentiation simultaneously. Okay. So technology, we are going to talk about in the following chapters in a little bit detail. Okay. All right. Then global world 2, international business. Why people are crazy about international market, international resources? Because they can reduce cost. Using this, they can increase product differentiation simultaneously. Okay, so please practice to apply this framework in our topics. This is pretty much about stakeholders. I just want to mention about stakeholders. Stakeholders are anyone who is involved with your business. Okay, anyone. Okay, so for example, very college, we have many types of stakeholders. Okay? Students, employees, faculty, government, and community, whoever is involved with the community, very community, is a stakeholder management. The central idea of stakeholder management is very simple. Harmonize the interest of stakeholders. That's it. Okay? This is a stakeholder management. An AFI framework, we talked about that. Analyze, formulate, implement. Okay? Analyze external, internal environment. Formulate 3 levels of strategy. And implement, we are going to use simulations to practice this. Okay? That's it. This is pretty much about chapter 1. Okay? Chapter 1, we're done. Okay? Chapter 2 is a really simple topic, so I'm gonna just continue without any break. Usually I have a break between the chapters, but chapter 2 we are just do briefly talk about it. Then let's conclude today's meeting. Okay, so chapter 2 is about managing the strategy process. Okay, vision, mission, values. We talked about this already. Vision, where we will be. Mission, where we are. Okay, customer-oriented, product-oriented missions. Okay, and customer-oriented missions are better because it is easy to be consistent with your environmental change. Okay, customer-oriented. Then we will talk about some strategic planning, scenario planning, or something like that. Very simple topics. Okay. All right. What a vision? We talked about that. Okay. Vision, want to ultimately accomplish. Mission, what's the fun about? And I'm not going to replicate this. Vision, mission, you can just read the textbook, then you can understand it. Okay, strategic management process. Okay, strategic planning. I want to talk about this, not this one. Okay, this. Okay. So, scenario planning, strategy planning. Okay, scenario planning. Simply speaking, if A happens, we do B. If C happens, we do D. Something like that. Okay, so it's about future planning. Okay, so again, analysis, formulation, implementation, then analysis again, formulation, implementations. From this concept, we have this. This is what I want to talk about. All right. So strategy is dynamic. Okay? So originally you have intended strategy. So I want to do this. Okay, I'm gonna do this. But when you step up and you go, okay, some bottom up emergent strategy, new strategy will come up. Then you just compare which strategy is better. Then if a new strategy is better, you can take it then your realized strategy will be bottom-up strategy. So, very simple. Your strategy is not static. Your strategy is dynamic. Okay? Dynamic. Okay? Think about that. Your simulations. Again, you run a company. Okay? Your strategy came up, and it seems that your strategy is much better than the originally designed strategy. Then what are you gonna do? Use it. Change it. Okay? Strategy is dynamic. Okay? There's no fixed strategy. Okay? I just want to emphasize this. That's it. Okay? That's it. The idea of this, is this way. Okay? And then there are some other topics, NPV and real options. Real options, we already talked about that, right? Real options, we already talked about that with my paper. Okay? So real options to decrease, okay, reduce the probability of making mistakes. Okay? Net present values, NPV, you run a lot, okay, from your finance class. I'm not going to replicate this. Okay? NPV, net present values, you already learned this from the finance classes. So I'm not going to replicate this. That's it. Done. This is chapter 1 and 2. We're done. Okay? So basically, in chapter 1 and 2, we talked about definition of strategy, some industry, and the further effects. Okay? In the second chapter, we talked about vision and mission, and the dynamics of strategy. Okay? Some other topics: technology, international business, net present value, real options. You just read the textbook and you can understand easily. Okay? All right, how was it? Done? Okay.
Dr.
So-
Kang,
Okay, please go ahead, Michael.
just curious, when you're working with other organizations, do you ever see that they're getting the mission statement and the mission and value statement backward?
Oh, sure. And very college. They have very they have very specific mission statement and vision statements. But I usually with the undergraduate students, I presented the vision and mission statements of Berry College as the worst example. It's not good. I'm sorry about it. Because many people who are involved with this vision and mission statements, they are confused about vision and mission. Okay? So I introduced the vision and mission statements of Berry College as an example of for undergraduate students, but not MBAs, not MBAs, because you understand the vision and mission statements, but still many people gives the emphasize the importance of vision and mission statements for communication purpose. Okay? For example, the what is that hospital system in the Rome area?
Atrium?
Yes. Actually, they have a better vision and mission statements. Okay? So probably from their vision and mission statements, okay, many people, insiders and outsiders, have a common understanding of what this organization is going forward, something like that. That's why we use vision and mission statements. But again, okay, very simple things. Vision and mission statements are simple tools. These are simple, so they are strong. Okay, but the problem is if we confuse to use vision and mission, is a problem. Okay, so probably we will have more chance to talk about this. Simple and strong, but If we confuse simple things, it's a big problem. Okay. Any other question, comment? Okay, it's great. Okay, your statements are great. All right, no question, no comments. So we are ready to conclude chapter 1 and 2. Say yes. Please type yes. All right, done. Chapter 1 and 2 and done. And then next time, so next meeting is next Monday. We are going to talk about chapter 3 and 4. Actually, these are pretty interesting and important topics. External and internal analysis. When you read the textbook, keep in mind external environments you cannot control. It's cohesive. You have to receive it, okay? Accept it. Internal environments you can control. Okay? Keep in mind this distinguish, okay, differences. Then you read chapter 3 and 4. Okay? Then we are going to talk about chapter 3 and 4 in the next Monday. Okay? Today you did a great job. Your discussions were great. Very impressive. Okay? So for the next time, I'm going to expect. Okay, good discussion too. All right. Any question, comment before we go? If you don't have any question, comment, you did a great job. I'm going to see you on next Monday. Great.
Thank you, Dr. King.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Tang. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You did a great job, actually. You did a great job. It's a great class.